All right, let's visit another axis of slow communication. Slow food is a sort of intimate experience where you can get to know your dining partner better. Maybe slow communication should not kill intimacy like our typical communication devices do. And just as an example of that, what happens in here is this is a bedroom-based communication device. It's meant to be used by long-distance partners. So you have this installed in your bedrooms, and what you do is you put on a special ring that sort of glows a red color, and it can be picked up from a camera that's above, and you can draw on your own body, on your skin, or you can draw on your bed surface, and those drawings are transmitted live to your partner in another place in the world, just on their bed. So it's projected directly on their skin, and they can draw back to you. So it's a little bit like a collaborative drawing interface, and there's sort of little twinkling lights show up where your partner is drawing. You can kind of watch those as they move around and kind of almost feel the sensation at those points. And then the most fun part about it is that if you pick up your own ring and you try to draw in the same place at the same time as your partner, then the color of the lines will change to red, just to sort of synchronize, to indicate that you are in synchrony with your partner at that moment in time, just like you see here. So called Mutsugoto. It was done by Tomoko Hayashi in our lab. And again, it's all about recovering intimacy in communication devices, and also creating a communication device that's not one size fits all. It's not generic, because right now we use the same mobile telephones to talk to our lovers as we do to talk to our delivery people and pizza man and that kind of thing. And it doesn't make sense why we would do that, because you don't use the same chair for every purpose that requires sitting. You have a different chair for working and watching television and going to the dentist and that kind of thing. So why should it be that we use the same device for all kinds of communication? Along that intimacy theme, we have another project that we've done in the past called the Whisperal. This is a spiral-shaped shawl that you wear, and it's kind of an alternative to the greeting card that you give to somebody when they leave work or when they leave town, and everybody writes a little message to them there. Instead, what you can do is plug a little microphone into this shawl and record a little voice message into it. So you can have all your friends record voice messages in there and then give it to them as a gift. And then when they stroke it in the future, like they just sort of move their hand around, they'll hear those messages coming out. So you can kind of carry whispers of your friends with you. So just another sort of alternative of creating something more intimate than your normal communication. So another axis of slow communication is this notion of personalization. And just as an example of something that's not personalized, here you have lots of different people in my Skype view here. But this might be my girlfriend, and that's my lawyer, and that this is someone else who I don't really care about too much. They're all rendered in the same exact way. Why should they all be portrayed in exactly the same way? It doesn't make sense. So just as an example of something different, here's a flower pot that one of my researchers made that blooms when his girlfriend logs into the computer at the university, and it sort of de-blooms automatically when she logs out. So it's exactly the same as the Skype, here or not. It's just made a little bit differently. And that was fun because he made it himself, and he made it a pink flower because his girlfriend likes pink and she likes flowers. It could have been something completely different if she was a different type of person. And that got us very interested in this notion of DIY, so that we could create our own communication devices or our own awareness devices. And we were doing a lot of work with creating soft electronics and interfaces to make this possible. And here was another project that came out of that. This is sort of a bracelet that has a conductive bead on it, and it sort of moves around onto some conductive pads, so that when you're moving your hand around during the day, it'll send a signal to another bracelet somewhere else on your partner that just turns on one of 6 LEDs, so you know kind of what your partner might be doing at that moment in time, if they're moving their arm a lot or something like that. So it's just a simple kind of connection between two people. It's nothing, no text, no chat, just a very simple connection. Okay, another axis of slow communication. Slow food emphasizes this notion of having a shared experience, and slow communication obviously should do that as well, I think. And we do have that kind of a system where you have everybody sharing the screen here, but really that's not so great if you ask me, because everybody is separated from everyone else by a kind of window pane. You know, it looks like a scene from the Brady Bunch, or it sort of looks like a talk show on TV where everybody should be arguing with each other, right? That's the kind of dynamic that's set up by this kind of graphical construction. So what can we do about that? Well, we made another system here.
Be a hockey star, but you end up playing golf. No, it's really funny.
Is that the one where like his? No, isn't there a football one as well?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I heard it wasn't as good.
Okay, let's turn the volume down. I'll continue to narrate it a little bit. This is a system called reflection. It's a little bit like a magic mirror. So you sit in front of a computer screen with a camera, and it's like looking into a mirror. You see a reflection of yourself and reflections of other people who are in different places. And the computer extracts them from the background and combines you all into the same scene with no window pane. So you could literally reach your hand over and pat them on the head if you wanted to, or pick their nose or something like that. And the computer listens to when you're talking and when you're not, and it fades people in and out based on that. So you can kind of emphasize the person who's the center of attention and de-emphasize the other people who aren't. Now that's all cool, but what we found actually in this was the most fun mode was watching movies together with your friends. And so we kind of shrink everybody down to half size here, and you can make jokes and comment on whatever's going on. And that actually turned out to be very interesting, because the people who tested this reported to us that they actually preferred sitting and watching a movie using this system as opposed to watching a normal movie in a normal movie theater where it's dark and you can't see your friends' expressions and you have to whisper or whatever. So there was something that was added in this technology that you didn't actually have in a face-to-face situation. And I think that's a real test for any communication system, is can it go actually beyond what is offered in a face-to-face situation? That's a system called reflection, as I said before. And just as another kind of access to slow or this notion of shared space, I guess, or shared experience. Here's another video. You're going to have to turn the volume up on this one, please.